Hey fellas, how you doing? I got an opportunity about half an hour ago to talk to some young guys, and I'm going to tell you what we talked about. What we did talk about is my biggest regret as a younger man. And here, let me show you. Beautiful clouds. It's really nice outside. It's actually humid, which is bizarre, but it rained a ton last night. I can't tell you what I was going to fill the pool up today, but don't have to. And I wanted, when I got into the military, I wanted that's Nala's rolling by. No, she's only she's only happy when it rains. Anyways, when I was coming up in the military, and I figured out that you could advance quickly if you took a job nobody wanted, or you volunteered to try to get as close as you could to what's called a tier one operator. Now, I initially started out as an 11 X-ray at Fort Benning, Georgia, and I got in so much trouble at Fort Benning, Georgia, that they sent me to Fort McClellan. Fort McClellan's where they train all the MPs, and I tried to go AWOL twice at Fort McClellan while I was in, what did they call it? CCF, Central Confinement Facility, because the Central Confinement Facility at Benning, and he just did. I just was very hard-headed, stupid young man, and I knew more than you did. You couldn't tell me what to do. The only reason I was in the military is because I got caught doing stuff, da 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 da. I can't wait to get back to Highland Park and start. I don't want it to sound weird or anything, but we called it slinging. And the other part of it is I would drive stuff from point A to point B. They'd like send me to San Luis Obispo in California, and I'd drive something up to Toronto, Canada, or I'd pick something up in a border town like El Paso and drive it up to Detroit. Anyways, all that to say this. So I manage to get out of CCF, and and they send me back. They send me from Fort McClellan. That's in Alabama, by the way. And they send me back to Fort Benning, and I had to restart basic training. So at one point in time in basic training, these guys come around and they're looking for volunteers. Now, I volunteered for anything where I could make extra money: airborne school, air assault school, anything you could hazard deep. And the EOD community, these were EOD guys. So I volunteered for the EOD thing, and they didn't really want me, but it's called, it's ASFAB, and on the GT portion, I think that's General Technical, you had to have a minimum of 110 to get in, and I had a 111. And they were so desperate at that point in time for EOD guys, they took me. And I somehow managed to go from there to Redstone Arsenal, and I was part of the Delta 10 program. And from the Delta 10 program, I was sent to the 36 EOD, and boom, let me get onto it. So when I was down there, my very first supervisor was a guy who ended up going into Delta Force. And he tried out several times to get into Delta Force. And then one day, he was just fucking gone. Now, I know that may not sound abnormal to you guys, but this is a guy, he'd run like a mile before we did PT. And anyway, at that point in time when I was in the 80s, we called those guys the Hardy Boys. Anyway, they were just trying to stand up the Delta Force. So, I'm bumping around in Chile, and I'm in the embassy. I'm doing babysitting duty. They're getting a lot of bombs. That's from Pinochet and the rest of them. They're having civil war and all that kind of stupid shit down there. So I'm in there, and I get a call to go to the front gate to look at a car. anyways, and on my way down the thing, there's these three guys that are using video cameras back in the 80s, late 80s. It was a box that sat on your thing, and so there's three of them out there, and they're going through the embassy, and what they're doing is they're mapping the embassy with video. And I see a guy, and it's my supervisor. Anyway, and we talk and we talk and we talk, and he gives me some knowledge, and one of the things they want to show stability in you, and this is where I'm finally getting to the point of my biggest regret. One of the things they encourage guys to do is be married if you want to get into the tier 1 operators. And at that point, they were starting up the EOD cell for Delta Force. And that's what I tried out for 3 times. Now, I would never try to tell you that I tried out to be a tier 1 operator. I tried out 3 times for the EOD support cell for Delta Force, or SF1, the Special Forces Detachment, SFD1. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I just wasn't good enough. But one of the things they highly encourage you to do is get married. So I just went around and found a girl and got married to her, and that was the biggest mistake I made in my life. When you're a young man and you're trying to pursue your dreams, you can't attach somebody to you. And I don't want this to sound too mean, but if you do that, like I did that's putting an anchor on you, or putting a yoke around your neck, or a weight that's holding you back, because you incur certain responsibility. Hey, it just didn't fucking work out. But I did the best I could. I tried out 3 times and I didn't make it. But if I could go back in time, I would tell you not to get married. I would tell you now that marriage is anti-family, anti-men. The courts are set up to just use you as a piggy bank. I can't. I would love to take you. You want some sobering advice? Take a couple days off and just go sit in the back of family court and see what happens to 99.9999% of the men. You always beat your wife. You're always an abuser. You're always an alcoholic. You're always the bad guy. How much money can we get out of this guilty bastard? And let's move on. And you know what? You may not get to see your kids, even if you have them. So that's my biggest regret, and it's why I gravitate so much to the men go their own way in the red pill community. Now, am I married now? Yes. Is my wife at least 180 degrees different than my first wife? Yes. Is she feminine? Yes. Is she fit? Yes. Is she really good looking? Yes. Did I have to go through a process which was, I understand it now, because with her family, you don't just go around and marry any guy you want to. There's a process with them, and it is, they told me it based it on, she should go from her father's house to her husband's house. Anyways, it was in depth. You have to go and meet people, and there's little parties you have to go to. And I didn't have any family, and they'd show up with like 350 people. It was like, oh my god. Anyways, but it has worked out. Has it been bumpy? Yes, and a lot of it's been bumpy because we just sometimes have disagreements about basic things, and it's nothing that's gonna ever, it's never going to tear us apart anyway. So, but if I could go back in time, I do not think, and all of the old classic movies or series like Poldark is, I think, one of those things, or where the guy has to leave his home, go out and make his way in the world before he decides to add anybody else to him. The worst thing I did in my life is I brought somebody else into my life when I wasn't prepared to do so. And I did it for selfish reasons. Did it work out? It lasted over 30 years, but first chance, not the first chance. When I got the opportunity to get out of there, I just got out of there. So it is what it is. Do I have anything bad to say to Indira del Carmen Ceballos Sanchez? No. Do I have anything bad to say to Duke or Derek? No. Do I wish them the best, Duke and Derek? Yes. Indira, good luck to you. Do whatever you have to do, and it is what it is. But if I could go back, it's just you lose when you get married. You lose the ability to make a decision on an individual basis. And that is a critical point for you as a young man. And no, I hadn't made my way in the world, but I had somebody else I was supposed to help and protect and take care of and provide for, and I couldn't even fucking provide for myself. So hope you don't make that same mistake. It's one of the things I talked about today with the guys. Some puppy love is not true love. You can't build with somebody that is wholly dependent on you. You gotta find somebody that you can build with together. They're going to make your life easier and you're going to make their life easier. It's not a one-way street where you as a man provide everything and all they do is provide sex. And my wife couldn't, my ex-wife, she couldn't clean. She was a princess without a castle. And she was the proverbial big butt and a smile. So, whatever. Love you guys. Stay safe and healthy. Take care of each other if you can. And if you can, you have to take care of yourselves. All right? Don't get married. Marriage is a one-way street. And if you get married, you have to have a prenup. I paid a lot of money for my prenup. So, it is what it is. Like a fart in a G-string from West Texas, El Paso, I'm out of here. Bye-bye.